Alright guys, so I'm going to pick up here. I have my sketch. I don't know why it's on the back side here, but I have my sketch of the Pentagon, and I just kind of wanted to pick up here for a quick fact, because sometimes we're working on a sketch, we leave it, we close out our iPad, we come back, we open it up, and we go back in. And you have a tendency to want to hit that little sketch pencil right here at the top. And that actually will create a new sketch, which is not what you want, or I'm hoping that's not what you want. You want to pick up where you left off editing the old sketch. So we're going to hit the ellipse there, hit edit, and we're back into that old sketch, okay? You don't really want to have more than one sketch going at a time unless it's a shared sketch, which I don't even know if we've really talked about that a whole lot at this point. We've used it, but I'm not sure if you guys quite know what that's about, which is okay. Okay, first thing I want to talk about, though, is they don't really tell you this, but there's an image in there of the actual piece we're building, and it has a ruler next to it to kind of give you an idea of what's going on there. And I'd say about one of those sides down there at the bottom looks like it's about 1 inch across. Okay, so I'm actually going to go back and edit my part so that I have the dimension in there for a side. So first thing is I got to select that dimension, 2-finger tap, and I'm going to delete the dimension. Now I'm going to go back, I'm going to add in a dimension, but this time I'm going to do it for that side there. I'm going to make it 1 inch now. Boom. So now I have the dimension I want in there. It looks like it's about the right size. All right, I'm going to turn off my dimension tool by tapping up there, because now what I want to do is, if you remember what it said at the beginning of the activity, it's a good idea or a best practice to have your part centered at the origin. And currently my sketch is not centered at the origin. All right, so I'm going to attempt to move this here. And it might be really embarrassing because it might not work, okay? So try not to laugh too hard if I fail at this. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is select that center point, okay? And now I'm not going to click on the center point. I'm going to click off to the side of the object here, but the key is to kind of move quickly and see if it lets me. Oh, it worked, okay? So I didn't click on the center point, I clicked off this side, and you got to move quick or else that selection tool will come up on you, okay? So see how it's locking in? Now it's locked into that origin there, okay? And then the other thing, I'm going to shift my view a little bit here, is see how that top point's not lined up with the center axis there, or the y-axis, I guess we could call it. So I want to line it up with that y-axis. We're going to try the same thing over again. We'll see if it works, okay? So I selected that top point there. Hopefully this rotates it. Okay, again, don't laugh too hard if it doesn't work. Oh, it worked. I got lucky. I figured this out 2 seconds before making the video, so I wasn't too sure if it was going to happen or not. All right, so now I have it actually locked in. And if you couldn't remember from the constraint activity, when something's fully constrained, what color does it turn? Black. That's right. When it's not fully constrained, it's blue, in case you didn't pick that up from the last activity. All right, so now we've got all that taken care of. Now we can actually get to what this video is about, and that's when you do the extrusion with a taper angle. Okay, now, taper is basically when the extrusion either comes in at an angle or goes out at an angle. And in this case, they actually call it, in OnShape, they call it the blind. Okay, the end type is, or not blind, I'm sorry, draft. Okay, and draft is actually still referring to a taper. It refers specifically to the angle of the taper. So we're going to turn on the draft, and in this case it said to do -45 degrees. However, OnShape doesn't have that option. Instead, it has something else. So we're going to go ahead and click that. We typed in 45, and you can see it's actually extruding the taper in the direction that we don't want to go. That's why it was supposed to be -45. Instead of negative, though, they have this opposite direction down here, which is below the draft. There's also the opposite direction below the extrusion. That's not the one we want in this case. All right, and the other thing we need to change is the depth, because this should not be an inch. I'm going to guess, I'm going to go 0.15. And that looks pretty much like what they show in the MyPLTW image. So I'm going to go with that. That is good enough. And I'm going to go ahead and hit my check to finish that. All right, so that is your first tapered extrusion. Now you're going to do another one on your own here in 2 seconds. Make sure you look through the injected molding document and find out the taper for the wall before you do the next one. All right, good luck.